Good morning. I have a new phone stand, and so I'm trying to figure out if this is going to work. I think it will. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for coming, everybody. Oh, good. Thank you. Hi, Junk Collector, Rebecca, Christine, Oma, Julie, Ely, Zaldi. Oh, I got to think of a fun name. I'll just say Elise. Hey, that's probably it. Now that I look at it further. Sarah, City Scrapper. Hi, Julie. Hey, I got a new phone stand so that it would be overhead. Excuse me. Still dealing with the stupid crap in my throat and a slight cough, not as bad as it used to be. So I got a new stand and it has a ring light. I'm fancy now. um, I want it overhead, of course, when I'm doing the craft with me's, so that I didn't have to work around a phone stand. But I have to say, oh, good grief. You need to get a drink. Um, Now I lost my track of what I was thinking. I'm sorry, guys. I postponed the show a little bit because I was tired from Saturday because I went to a wedding with my daughter, 2.5 hours away. Took a nap yesterday. Then I was up till 1 o'clock in the morning, early this morning. And then I slept till almost 8 this morning. This is Central Standard Time. And I thought I'd have enough time, and then I forgot I needed to take care of my cat and, oh, all the other stuff you do in the morning. Yeah, my daughter's best friend from college, her son got married Saturday, 2.5 hours away, and we had a marvelous time. It was just her and I that went. And they were calling for horrendous storms. And we didn't know it. But the wedding was outside. And it was 92 or 93 degrees with a real heavy wind. And hotter than blue blazes, but windy. But then inside was the reception and dinner and dance. And they were so lucky that the weather didn't cause a problem for the outdoor wedding. Sorry, I'm just trying to I don't know why my throat is acting like this. Still residual crap from that stuff I had last month. Oh my gosh, and today is June 1st. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I think that works. Well, last Monday, geez, do I even have a completed one to show you guys? I think you bought them all. Last Monday, I had made some ephemera. I'm calling them Ephemera Pockets. And I had made these for Build a Journal. And so I had made some new ones, and I printed on both sides for the new ones. And I had some requests to know how to make them, so I thought we could do that today. What I don't have today are any that are finished. I have them in parts still, and so I thought, well, if anyone really wants some now, not finished, but almost finished, I could sell them. And you guys you guys will decide that, but I'll have some more finished fairly soon, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to talk and it doesn't sound like it's coming out real well. I put magnets on these, and that I ordered some new magnets because I love really, really thin ones. And I had run out of the ones I used for the ones last Monday. So I ordered some more real quick because I thought I was going to get more finished. And I have fallen in love with these. They are, can you see how thin they are? Oop, I got to get used to overhead. They're really nice and thin. Hi. Yeah. Well, guess what? I ordered two sizes. Luckily, I ordered 2 packs of this size that I just showed you. But I also ordered these just to see how little they were. And I'm curious. There's a lot of power in them. Look at this. Those are even tinier, but they're really thin. That's what I was after. So I'm going to try the little teeny tinies, but not today. All right, so we'll look at all these goodies over here after I get done with the craft with me. Okay, so I paper crafted for years. I mean, like decades. And was a goofball. And when I printed the papers for Build a Journal, well, I didn't do double-sided. When I printed them for what I was going to sell last Monday, I printed them the same direction on both sides. And that was wrong. So, first thing to mention, when you print your paper, if you choose to make some of these, print this, the one side looking the right direction, and then flip it. Oh, you have to flip it for the printer to get the other side going the right direction. Hi, Journal Junkie. Hi, Mel. Oh, look at all of you. Welcome in. I've got to learn, if I'm doing overhead, I now have to learn to look at my laptop for comments. So if I miss something, just repeat. It won't offend me if you say it more than once. I'm used to the phone stand where I can see comments right in my face. Oh, thank you, Mel. Oh, wait till you see some of these up here that I found even more new designs. So if you were with me Monday, I did some more looking in my digitals and found more. And I'm quite certain, because last week somebody asked if I sold the paper, but you have to be careful with, digital collections on Etsy. Um, they're different. What's the word? Oh, well, I'm so glad you dropped in, Mel. Now, well, I didn't put it in my show notes, but I am now, for over 3 months, I have been streaming my shows on my YouTube channel. It's a tiny baby channel, but I got it figured out and then started doing craft with me's so that if you want to rewatch it, you can just go to my YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel is the same as my whatnot name. So Pam GRE 16550. So you can go there and um, see any of them. And I typically put craft with me at the beginning so you'll know which ones are actually the craft with me where I show something. So that worked. I forgot to say that part. Yes. Yes, that'll be perfect. That'll be perfect, Mel. Okay, so I left 3. Oh, where are they? I left 3 that I'm going to work with today to show you guys. So you flip it over that way. There's the back side of that one. And then look at this. When you cut it down the middle, you have butterflies on one side and this beautiful needlework on this side. And then look at this beautiful, I don't think I have enough light on. There we go. This beautiful vintage arrangement of paper, I guess is what you say. All right, so this is the first thing you do. I have designed with the second, after the ones for Build a Journal, I got it fine-tuned a little better. First of all, I printed borderless so that we have a full 8.5, across. Then when you come in, you cut it at 4 1/4, which is half the page, right? So now you've got these 2 for covers. I'll do that. But this one, you have to kind of look at the images if you have digital collections and see if you think they'll work, because you kind of want something fun that goes up over the flap. I didn't. And this one, she cuts off, but then she sits a little lower on the page too, but I think she's still pretty. So I went ahead with more of her. Yes, junk collector. Yes, yes, yes. They'd be perfect. So yeah, so you have them this way, and then you go that, and it comes out the right direction. Right above my head, I have some IKEA. I can't remember what style they're called, but the ones I have are open shelf, and you can adjust the shelves. And I saw once where, well, here I'll tilt you and show you. Oh, that's all my here. That this first slot I left just thick enough to slide my cutter and scoreboard in. So now when I just grab it and then I can put it back easily. Okay, so then we're going to make 4 scores on each of these. And what you want to do is make sure the top of either side that you want is to the right. So then you're going to score at 1 3/4. And you always score, like I want this to be my front. So I'm scoring on the top of it. Even though when I score, that's going to make, what do they call it? A valley? That's what you want. When you fold paper that you've scored, you don't fold into the valley, you fold away from it. I hope that makes sense. You think it's the opposite of that. So 1 3/4, 1 7/8, 6 3/4, and 6 7/8. I'll just do one of each of these for the demo. All right, so this is my front. It's the top is to the right. Then I come in at 1 3/4, 1 7/8. Oh, I scored too deep. Dang it. I hate it when I do that. This is 47 or 48 pound paper. I don't know why I've had one other one do that. Okay, 1 3/4, 1 7/8, 6 3/4, 6 7/8. We'll do the pretty butterfly. Okay, this is the front. It's to the right. 1 3/4, 1 7/8, 6 3/4, 6 7/8. And our scoring is done. Yeah. So true, junk collector. So I kind of always do it. I try to do it at an angle. I hold the scoring tool. I don't ever, go straight down. I try and do it at an angle and a little softer, except you want the score lines, right? So it's fine. Okay, so after working on all of these yesterday, what I have found is the two that are up at the top. I start with the one, so here's a score line and here's a score line. Here and here. So I start with the one furthest down, come up. Now the other thing that's crazy, you would think if you have cut it accurately and scored it where you wanted it, it would all line up perfectly, right? But it doesn't all the time. That first one is usually okay. Then I take it and I pull back because it's only an eighth of an inch. So it's pretty tiny. So then I come back, fold that, and then I make sure they line up on the sides because it's pretty important with this pocket because the sides are going to show the edges of the beautiful rag paper. Same here. Go down to the furthest one, come up. That looks good. Use your bone folder and crease it. Come back. Oh, and that one looks good too. Okay. And here you have your cover for your pretty pocket. And what's going to happen, in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about, sorry about that, we're going to end up with 3 of these rag paper pages. We're going to attach them and put them in here. Are going to go in here like this with a magnet closure. Yeah. Yes. These that I'm showing, now see, well, this one, the paper's just kind of everywhere, isn't it? So yes, they're double-sided. And so I love this, but I really like this too. So I did some with this on the outside. So you'll end up with 3 pockets in here all glued together. And when you pull this open, you'll have the 3 pockets. Okay, sorry about that. I didn't explain myself very well. So here's the first one. And then we're going to bring this up on the score line. See how that's off right there? You can just bring it kind of over a little bit before you score it, and then get your line. pull up the second one. I've used this bone folder so much. You see the divot? Oh gosh, if I can figure out how to get to the camera. Whoa. Can you see the divot? Oh no, you can't. That's how much I have scored over life. Okay, you bring this one up. Yes, Oma, you're correct. I wasn't thinking far enough ahead when I made those for Build a Journal. So I remade some and sold a bunch last Monday and had some requests. So I printed off a bunch more. And I made a ton this third go around because I'm going to have them in the Build a Journal again this month. That's on June 19th. The other show I want to really talk to you guys about. Hi, Kim, Sheriff Steve, hello. The other show I want to talk to you about is this coming Sunday. If any of you happen to know what doesn't she do, her name is Donna. She has become quite ill, and unfortunately, she and her husband do not have insurance. So they have put together a raid train for all day Saturday and all day Sunday. I know. I know. Isn't it? Yeah. When I heard about it the first time, they thought she had a parasite in her brain. Yeah. Turns out everything is okay with her brain. She is a recovered cancer survivor. What doesn't she do? I have been on, I've joined, she started the Great D-Stash raid train a few months back, and I was on two of them, and I got to, know her. And then she has also created some scrap um, digital paper. Well, not digital, sorry. She has started collections of beautiful papers. I think that's how you say it. They're hard copy. And she was starting to sell them. And so I was lucky enough to catch some of those before all of this crisis happened. And I got to see her, I think it was Thursday or Friday. She had a show. She felt good enough and to also give an update. But if any of you want to be in, one of the shows Saturday, or definitely my show on Sunday, it's going to be in the evening. I think it's 7:30. When you do a benefit raid train, this is my first benefit raid train. So I don't know what others do, raid trains, but we're required to give 10% of our gross sales. And I don't I don't ever have massive sales, right? So I'm going to do more than 10%. I have a wonderful amount of sales. I just don't have, the thousands of dollars. So yeah, I'm going to donate more than that. In fact, I'm considering just donating 100%. Luckily, well, when she was on Thursday or Friday, whichever day it was, she was going to be put on a super, super strong medication, and I can't remember what it was. I'm thinking maybe a steroid. And she was going to pick it up that night. She said, if I have enough money. That just breaks your heart. And she uses GoodRx, which you usually can get, you know, a decent price for that, with through GoodRx. I have been fortunate enough to not ever go without medical insurance. But I also know how damn high it is, even in the, in the marketplace, the Obamacare. It isn't a better price like they talked about when they first came, when Obama first came out with it. It's not like it's a great price. I guess it's just the ability to be able to have insurance. I don't know. But I know what doesn't she do is married, and I believe, and she has two or three children, and I know a couple of them are like 18 and I think 18 and 20. I don't know a ton, you know, about her personal life, but I know that much. And I have a sister who has gone without medical insurance. She's 62 and she's waiting for Medicare at 65. So she's got 3 more years before she's going to. Yes, exactly, junk collector. Exactly. When I retired, my company gave me so much a year to use towards my medical insurance. They didn't offer an insurance. So I was with the marketplace until this year for the last 5 years, and I was lucky enough to have help, with paying, with the company that I retired from. But I'll just say one more thing about it. When I retired, the amount that my company gave me paid for my insurance all 12 months. And I even had a little bit left over, and I was on a gold plan. And that there's bronze, silver, and gold. And I was even on the top tier of the gold plan, with the lower deductibles and all that. When I but when I turned 65 this year, when I signed up for insurance for the first 3 months, because my birthday's in April. Well, let me start over. Last year, I was on the last few years, I've been on the bronze plan. Oh, hi. I was just talking about you, Donna. I was sharing the raid train that we're having for you this coming weekend. Oh, thank you for being here. And so by the time 5 years had passed since I had retired, I had the gold plan and my company paid for all 12 months. 5 years later, I was on the bronze plan and it only covered 8.5 months. Oh, I know, honey. So, did you get your medicine the other night? And so it has helped you feel better? Oh, oh, I'm so glad to hear that. So, yeah, I was just telling him to join Saturday or Sunday, but at minimum, come to my show. So happy you felt well enough to come on. I bet. Well, I'm doing a little craft with me and got sidetracked um, talking about uh, your raid train coming up this weekend. Well, thank you. All right. So we've now created the pocket. Well, what we didn't do was ink. You know what I did the first two times I made these darn things? I waited to ink after they were glued and put together. And I said, I'm not doing that again because you have to, you know, come along like this with, the paper in between. And so all of these up here are already inked. The main thing for inking is, because I don't use an extreme amount, main thing is just to knock down that white that you see. Can you see the, I'm calling these ephemera pockets. This, I haven't done an overhead show for a while. Usually I have a phone holder in front of me. So tell me if I'm out of picture, because I'm getting reused to this for the craft with me's. So I don't do, a ton. I just try to knock down the white on the edges of the paper. Like that. What they become is I've been using rag paper, and I have three. I've got some cut up, and they end up being glued in here. And once they're glued in the middle, in the back and the front, and when you pull it open, you've got these pockets that flare out. Then you can put ephemera in them. And I sold every finished one I have, so I can't even show you what the final product's going to look like. I wasn't thinking I should have finished one last night. Okay. But we're going to finish 3 today so that you can see what they're going to be. And I had these for Build a Journal in May, and I'm going to have some more for June. Yeah, Oma, if you're still here, I did a lot of rethinking on these pockets after Build a Journal in May and kind of perfected things down, and I have been making a bunch. These papers are just different collections that I buy digital collections on Etsy. So I just go through my digital collections. Yeah, I got that. And pick out patterns that would be pretty on the front. And then, like, that would be the front. And then when you close it down, try to find something that looks halfway decent on the flap. Sometimes that's easy and sometimes it's not. Okay, so we've got these ready to go. Now, set those, they're not going to work there. Now, this is rag paper. Beautiful, thick, high quality rag paper. And that's why I picked it instead of, some other kind of book page, because it's stronger and can stand up to, stuff coming in and out of the pocket, since it's a nice grade of rag paper. So Get the cutter back out. This part this will be good to show you. Look at this. Look at the difference in the width of the page. That's just how rag paper is. It's not accurate, and same width and sometimes not even the same height. There's some variance there. But to me, that kind of added charm to it. But you could so easily make pockets out of paper. A nice paper that would hold up, to taking stuff in and out. So the first thing I do, the pockets are 4 inches high. So the pocket comes up to about here. But the fold is clear up here, right? So you've got a little bit of room to put taller stuff in there. So I hate cutting this paper up and losing that edge. But I love the rag paper in it more than that bothers me. I guess is how you play it. Okay, so then you turn it, because this is a folio, is what I call folio. It's 2 pages still attached when it comes out of a book. So we trimmed it off to the correct height that goes here. Now we're going to trim it widthwise. Now so I keep the fun deckled edge to the right so that when I cut it at 4 1/4, I still have this fun edge, but I have a straight line there. But at least that I'm going to space that so that it's outside over here. I hope this is all making sense. Now, I don't need to trim that one. And that one has the beautiful edging on that side. For each book, that is really different at sizes, isn't it? I do 3 pockets. I've been doing 3 pockets for each page. So we got that. I've got to figure out what to do with these rag paper strips. I have kept them, but I don't know yet what I'm going to do. So you need 3 for each one. And I have had several that have come up short. Like you can see, this one's a little short of the cut line. That's okay. I still use it. It just adds, to me, it just still adds more character. So 4 from the fold of the page. And there's our 4. Turn it so that the fold is down here, and it's 4 1/4. And then I flip it so that I don't cut this edge. And this one's really short. Look at that. But we're going to use it anyway. And I'll show you what, I just kind of center it up. I didn't use that shorter ones in the Build-A-Journal ones. And you guys probably know this, but so many times we trust that the paper is straight and we just put it against this bottom guide. And I learned over the years, it's better to line it up over here if you're fortunate to be on a line that's dark. I've got that dark black line for 4 inches, and I line it up that way. Whoop, especially with rag paper, because it's not straight or even. Okay, So we flip it. Now we're doing 4 1/4. I flip it so I don't cut this edge off. And this one needs a little trim. Let's see how it varies. Okay, so how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I need one more. The first thing we do is 4. I've considered doing it the opposite direction so that I have these edges over here, but then that means I'd have to glue 3 sides of the pocket instead of 2, and I just haven't done it yet. So with rag paper, I kind of go by the one that sticks out the most to line it up at the 4-inch or 4 1/4 inch mark. We flip it so we keep the pretty. And that one needed a tiny trim. Okay, so now we've got our pockets. Next thing we do, look at this, guys. This is how long I've had this art glitter glue bottle. Look how nasty it is. I finally gave up because with these projects, these smaller projects, I like to use the fine tip on the bottle. And I can't even get that cleaned up anymore. So, looky here. Ta-da! I ordered a new bottle with the new tip. I feel fancy. Okay, so take 3 of these rag paper pages. And what I'm doing is I've got 2 with the decal edge on this side and 1 over here, just to give it a little bit of. Now these are all 3 pretty even. And what I've been doing is picking up, and you've got the folio. Gosh, I'm just going like I'm not. Okay, so this is the folio. And unfortunately, the writing is going the wrong way, but I decided that was okay. What I wanted mostly was the quality and the strength of the rag paper. Yeah. I had to get another drink. Okay, so you have 3 stacked up, and I pick up the 2, and I just kind of, fold it where it's kind of half, and then just a little more. And let's hope my glue works. Oh, of course not. Okay. It's always my fault because I didn't put a pin in it. Donna, were you able to make ahead some of your beautiful paper collections before you started filling like this? Where the heck? That's the other problem. I could never find the pokey tool or the needle, because I'll show them some of the paper I got from you if you do. Would never want to create more work for you. There we go. Goodness sakes. Okay, so back to this. The 3 are lined up. If they were different widths this direction, I would just put them, stagger them so that you have the middle of each one. I hope that makes sense. So I just kind of fold it over and then just a little more, because we're going to put a line of, a little section, I should say, of glue right there. And then I bring that one down, and then we're going to do it again. I just make a small width triangle, long triangle. And this is where, if you were with me Monday, some of the pages stuck together. This is when it happens. So it's really good. Oh crap, I didn't do the first thing. You gotta glue the sides. Good grief, I forgot that step. They're not gonna magically hook to each other, are they? Okay, so we got that one. Here's this one. I guess I could still show it to him. Yes. Oh yeah, you're also moving your room. Okay, so this is the first step. Glue the sides together of each piece. Then come in. And with rag paper, you have to watch that, I was showing, like this one is, no, that one's okay. There were some of them that the edges were even. If you have that, be sure and get the glue where the page is, you know what I mean? All right, let me show you. I just happen to have them right here. Now you tell me if I'm not saying something right, Donna. But she is the one that created each of these pages in this collection. This one happens to be called Chapter and Charm. And she has, I think, at least two sizes. So these are the 12 by 12s. Whoop. There we go. That all takes, you never think about all those little things. I've come across that with my Victorian Lady die cuts. She does have this beautiful soft, I think you can see it, a soft pink image on the back. I'm trying to get more light for you. Look at those books and those flowers. And you know what, guys? 12 by 12 would get you three of these covers because they're 4 inches wide. No, they're 4 1/4. Never mind. But you could adjust your pocket size and you could do 4 inches and get three out of each page. And you could even make them taller or have more space up here at the top to put taller things in even. These colors are just beautiful. Yes, I do. I do, Donna. I love the thickness. Yeah. Look at this candle and the vase of flowers. This is like a peachy pink, and then this is a little bit pinker down here. And these books. Oh, and the coffee. I think there's something with coffee in Donna. Yes, I'm the same way. And that's what happened when I was scoring one of these covers this morning. It broke through. So I try to keep, as much of an angle as I can so that hopefully I don't get it, so that it doesn't do that. Yeah, I love the thickness. Some companies make the paper almost too thick, in my opinion. But I go back to my days of making mini mini scrapbooks. For a very long time, I created mini scrapbooks, and you had, I mean, from the chipboard, the cover, the whole thing, the binding, and all of the pages that then would hook up, set in place in the gussets. And they had lots of flips and flats. Anyway, what I'm trying to say, I'm not showing you the back, sorry, is there's a lot of scoring. Well, I guess with most, I guess with most of this that we do, junk journals or scrapbooks, there is a lot of scoring. Okay, this is the one that caught my eye the most. Because you guys know I love the French stuff. So I went with a 12 by 12 and an 8 by 8. I think I have two packs of the 8 by 8. I don't know, we'll find out as we go through it. But here is look at this. I'm just like, oh my God. And there's your pink, your soft blush on the back. And here's this gazebo. This one's called European Blush. Whew, I'm not a great teacher or show offer. And then we've got the tables and chairs and the waterfall and that beautiful building, that beautiful soft back. Me, that's what I like sometimes, is because you've got such beauty here. And whenever papers are double-sided with beautiful prints on both sides, I just can't, sometimes I can't figure out which side I want. And that's a lot of the reason I went to digital, so that I could print what I wanted. Look at the beautiful shading. What doesn't she do? Donna created this. I'm in love with this set. I like the other set, don't get me wrong, but whew, yeah, I have two of those. Look at these. I think, Donna, wasn't this the set that I asked you if you could print this in 12 by 12? Because I think you had it 8 by 8 and 6 by 6. That's what I'm trying to say. That's 6 by 6. Good grief, guys. And while I was in the show, while she was having her show, she printed a page in 12 by 12. And look at this. She and I both about fell over. The beautiful blush on the back. I mean, I can't get enough of this set. I've got to figure out what special thing I'm gonna make with this. I know I'm gonna have to get, yes! I remember whichever page you chose, Yeah, same here. And then just some softness, against it. To me, that doesn't take away from the gorgeous front, too. Whichever one you printed had a beautiful flower right up front and center. And when you showed us the 12 by 12, it was like, oh my God. So, yeah. So, oh, we got a raid. Tap out. Hi. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. I am. Okay, I'm going to try something here. I like it when you get rated. I've seen them. They pull up the person that rated. There we go. I think I can get it. I don't know if you can see me now though or not. You can tell him like he has 1 day. The person has 1 day average ship, 1.2 thousand items sold, 4.9 rating with 286 reviews. Oh, thank you. Now I got to see how I get back to my show. I'm going to try and start remembering to do that to talk more about, the person that rated. So I hope you had a good show and thank you for coming in. I don't do giveys. Um, I never got in that habit of doing giveys. And then I heard that they could give you poor ratings on a free item. And I just said, I'm just not going to do it. So many times I add something extra, to each of my buyers' items. Sometimes I don't, but most of the time I do. Anyway, thank you. Okay, so let's get back to these. So we glued this one up. Let's get another one. Well, let's get all the sides of these first, right? Now my glue tip probably dried up on me. I guess I didn't put a needle in. That is the only crappy part of these. Okay, we're good. And because it's new, it's going to cooperate a little more. This feels weird to hold a clean bottle of the art glitter glue. Just a little thin line along the edge. See how this one is shorter than that one. So I'm going to put the glue on this side so that I'm sure to close the pocket up. And I love art glitter glue. Art glitter glue and score tape for double-sided tape is all I use. I've tried different brands of the double-sided tape, and it, to me, just isn't the same. And when you spend so much time making or building something, you want it to last. All right, there's that. Look at the foxing. Isn't that pretty? I fell in love with rag paper about a year and a half ago. Did not know it existed before that. And then I found out not all rag paper is equal. and you have to be careful on what books you buy in order to make sure that it is rag paper. There's that. I don't think we need this one, but I'll go ahead and get it glued up. So there we go. Okay, now let's take 3, stack them up. And I always like to alter the fun edge. So we're going to flip this one over so we have the 2 fun edges there, deckled edges, and one over here. And we are, the bottom one's a little wider, so we just kind of brought them in where they're as close to center as possible. I try not to spend a lot of time on that. Bring down glue. I just kind of bring it over, like I said, to half and just a little further. I'm usually pretty anal about measuring. Ugh. And with this, I decided not to. So I'm proud of myself. I normally would get the center and mark it and, ugh. I thought if I'm wanting to mass make these, this would take eons to do that. Okay, so here's our decal, and our decal. And this is one of them that is really short. So I'm gonna, this one, it's, okay, so I'm gonna kind of center it on that, because that one's a little shorter. And then center this one like that. And then we're gonna, I just hold these down, flip over to kind of get the center, and put our glue down. I think the first one I did too much glue. So just a thinner, it doesn't really matter, but just a smaller amount is all you need. I saw a tutorial on this on YouTube, is where I was looking for something to do with rag paper, because I'm trying to get some of my gals that follow me, and come to my shows to experience rag paper. So I thought if I make these, now we got to make sure the top is not stuck together. So you see, this is what we're going to have in the center of that cover. Like that. But we got to make sure it dries. I see a question. How do you know if it is good? Are you talking about the rag paper? What I, now I don't, I'm definitely no expert, but what I have found, oh, oh, let me get this book down. What I have found are books with these soft covers seem to have the higher quality rag paper. And if you see this, see how white this is? And this one is white, it just has some boxing, and it has the deckled edges. I have found, I know there has to be other books that have, high quality. This is just one example. To me, how I can tell is I've bought enough French rag paper books. First of all, I can feel it. Once you've seen it enough, you can look at it and know that it's a, finer quality. You also, with rag paper of any kind, you should see the lines in the paper, is what I understand. Because what they did was grind up clothing. They had people that went around and gathered clothing. And then another group, this is simplistic, I'm sure it was a lot more, but another set of probably ladies removed buttons and whatever, else extra was on the clothing. And then somehow they turned those fabrics, that material, into a slurry. I call it a slurry. And if you've seen anyone, even today, that makes handmade paper, they have those grates with the wire mesh going horizontal and vertically. And that's where this slurry laid and stayed there. I don't know how long. I'm going to say till it dried, but they probably took it out a little earlier. Okay, so that's been my experience. Now, I've also got, oh, I think these were good. I've also got these books. Oh, yeah. Now, this is thinner, but it is beautiful rag paper. It is quite a bit thinner now that I'm feeling it. But rag paper, it would take a lot to destroy it. But with these ephemera pockets, I wanted to use this quality so that we didn't have to worry about, rips taking um, ephemera pieces, in and out. Now, this one is from 1675. I think this is my only 1600 book. Now, this rag paper would work. You can just feel it. And then way back then, I mean, you can see the impression of the printing on it because that's a long time ago. Most, I don't know as much about American, but with the French rag paper books, I used to say 1850, but I think you need to go back maybe a decade, 1840, 1830s. Any book in that up to, like, say, let's say 1835 should be rag paper without, if you didn't know what rag paper was, it should be a rag paper book. After that, pulp, I think they called it pulp paper, I don't know, um, started getting introduced, but you still had rag paper books. So once you get kind of in that time frame, you have to kind of be careful. And once you know rag paper, you'll know just by looking at it. When I first learned about it, I said, how in the world would I be able to do that? Well, I pretty much can now. It's been about a year and a half that I love rag paper books. This is one, and I typically buy the ones that are falling apart, the front and the spine and the back, so that I can have less guilt of taking them apart. So even though the front cover, spine, and back might not look good at all, the pages are still fine on the inside. And that's what most of these are. This is a dictionary. It must have been a French dictionary, and it's a nice rag paper. I pulled out all my packs of rag paper and uh, to decide which ones to use for this. And I was just looking at this one this morning, and I think I'm going to use some of this dictionary in these pockets too. To find rag paper books, I started with a gal on YouTube, and her prices are uh, quality. I bought a couple from her, but I couldn't afford, or I didn't want to pay what she was asking. I fell for it for a little while, and then I found other places. So what I've kind of done is, well, then I found two French guys that are in France and they sell on Whatnot. Yes, yes. I mean, her information is phenomenal, and I don't want to just bash, that her high prices are high, because some of the books I've bought from the two gentlemen here on Whatnot, they live in France and sell, aren't pretty books. And I got them for a nice price. But I was wanting them, to use the pages. So that worked perfect for me. Yes, same here. I love cheap frills. Her books on YouTube they're nice, in nice shape and all that. But for me to use rag paper and crafts, I wanted crappy books. That's why the two I showed you I haven't torn apart yet, because they're in nice shape. Now I have sold some rag paper books, and I have some yet to sell. And I can set up a show where we just do that if you want. I can't tell you offhand I have how many I have ready to sell that I want to let go of. The other Gina, she's in here, G Smiley. Recently she has had some rag paper books. I've also, where else have I picked them up? When I first started, see, I find something I like and then I become obsessed. I have a feeling, I think a lot of us crafters are that way. So I went on Etsy and I found some. I went on, She Joe. That's what I'm going to call you. I don't think that's right. Are my coupons there? I think they are, because you unlocked a coupon. I forgot to look last night to see if they rolled over. So good. You let me know because you did that. Thank you. Thank you. So anyway, Etsy, I've gone on eBay. What's crazy is these soft cover ones. Oh, Gina, who's the gal that's selling French now? Well, there's Sunflower Cottage. She sells rag paper. Sorry, documents and invoices. Who were we just in last week with? Oh, she had some of these soft cover books. I'm obsessed with these. But I won't pay a fortune. And last week she had some that were a blue. There was a light blue, there was a darker blue. There is a set, I don't know if it's still there because I haven't looked for a long time. There was a set of pink ones on Etsy, and she wanted an astronomical price. And I didn't give in, even though I wanted it a lot. So I just kind of, I know that's long winded and taken forever, but that's kind of what I did. Can you kind of tell I have a passion for rag paper books? When I started with Whatnot, it was French paper, which I got from Gina, G Smiley, and Sunflower Cottage a little bit, mostly Gina. Then I found the two guys in France, and that's when I then really got into books. But when I first started buying a Whatnot, cabinet cards were my thing. Oh my gosh. I don't know, something about them, just the history of that long ago, having that portrait. And I still yet have to I have a bunch of them, and I want to do something with them. I have scanned a ton of them front and back, because I also am obsessed with the backs of those cabinet cards. Yes. Ink and Ledger does. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Yes, she does. I bought, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm kind of a tightwad, and I wouldn't pay more than $3 for a cabinet card for the most part. So I just watched and and tried to get the best price I could get. I've seen where you can make junk journals out of the cabinet cards, and that's gonna kind of crush me because you're gonna you know do that. But I just think they're fantastic, especially if you get a really good one. I've gotten some crappy ones. Yeah, yeah. I have gotten some pretty crappy the little CDVs too. They're a small cabinet card, and it's my understanding those came out first in the God. I used to know the eras of them, and then the cabinet cards came out, and um, so yeah, I've got a bunch of those, and I've been off and on. I go into YouTube just to try and get some ideas, on what I could do, and turn a cabinet card into like a little junk journal type thing. One lady, I love her style, and she's French, and or not, she's not French. She creates French. That's why I like her. And she punches holes in the sides of the cabinet cards, three holes, and then puts a ring, in each hole with the papers in between. And I love them, but I did ring binding a long time ago, and it just isn't my favorite. Oh, one of these ephemera pockets or a cabinet card journal. Okay, what doesn't she do? I have two with butterflies. You tell me which one you like, and I will make you one. I've got these two that have that. Yeah. This I've been printing this one and I love it. But when I was scrolling through all my digitals, I found this butterfly. What you look for in your digital paper, at least what I did, or your hard copy paper, you want an image up higher so that it shows, in the front of this. And then I also like, see, that isn't as exciting, but it goes, of course, but look at the back. We miss out on all the roses. Because my idea for these was we could glue them down on a junk journal page. I think that would be fun. And you open it up and you have the three pockets full of ephemera, right? Oh, like this. If I can get it. It'll be attached in there. Yeah, I didn't check the glue on these. Let's get that one undone. There we go. And you'd have that on a page in your junk journal. You could also just, I thought, wouldn't this be fun to find a tray or like one of those old wooden sewing drawers, and you could just stack these in there, you know, up like this, and keep your ephemera in these to play with, when you are creating. All right, what doesn't she do? I will get you one of these, and it'll be my gift to you. Okay, so we kind of went off on rag paper, and I talked a lot about it. Oh, Donna, you deserve it, honey. What you're going through medically is, I can't imagine. Stephanie, did you expect it to take that long? I have a few passions since I have found whatnot, and it's rag paper for sure, cabinet cards. And if any of you are new to me, what I, yeah, I know. What I, my passion right now are my Victorian Lady die cuts. What I have done is, I'll just show one set and then we can talk about them after the tutorial if I ever get it done. My passion right now started with these. I bought, I mentioned the two French men that I have bought from on Whatnot, and I just realized this one is not good. Did you guys know when your cutting mat, a Cricut cutting mat, when you use it too much, it starts kind of warping? And look at this. Because it warps, you get, oh, this overhead is new for me to readjust to again. And it'll slice things, but not all the way. So, what I do, there's three sets of this type, but different ladies. These were actual French. I call them, I mean, they were gigantic, like 22 high and 15 across. And I scanned the ladies, and then I was going to sell them as 8.5 by 11 pages to put in our junk journals. I still can't remember what got me to decide to remove the background, print them out, and then cut them out with my cutting machine. But that's what this is my passion right now, are all of these die cuts. They are 6 inches tall, and they are just beautiful. This set is all, like fall, wintry type colors, and they have outerwear in them. And this one. Then I won't show them, but um, then I found, I'll just show you this top one. Whoop, get the glare away. Then I was on Whatnot, and a guy was selling um, just the covers of early 1900 French theater, just the cover from French theater magazines. So I bought those covers, and I was able to do the same thing, remove the background, and cut them out. Then I found an awesome, well, there's these sets also. When I made this winter set, I thought, oh, we need some light colors for spring and summer. And so I've got these ladies. And then I bought 22 French Le Mode Illustré magazines from a lady in France and scanned the heck out of these 22 issues. I took on too much at once, but I ended up with 6 packs of black and white, because these were in 1875 and 1891, the magazines that I got from her. And I ended up with 6 packs of black and white ladies. And you don't want to know what my funnest thing is? Then I'll get back to the tutorial. I scanned all of these beautiful, I'm calling it an ephemera pack of French. There's a collar. I'm trying to remember to call these parasols, not umbrellas. Because I think that's what they called them back in the day. But I go in and I truly take the time and cut or remove as much background as I can, especially in the ladies, like where their arms. Oh, Maritza, I have not seen you for so long. I'm so glad you're here. Look at this. I'm guessing that's a purse with a butterfly on it. We've got a pillow, another purse. We've got this beauty. Look at that letter holder. I'm guessing this is a trash can. Another purse. Yeah, I feel like I have become a scanning queen. I had to take a break after I went through those 22 magazines because it was a lot. Okay, Donna, you take care of yourself. Thank you so much for coming in. So, for those of you new and joining, since I talked about it, I'm in a very special raid train. It runs Saturday and Sunday, and my show is on Sunday. I think, Gina, aren't you in it too? I think I saw your name. And yeah, we are going to have a benefit raid train for What Doesn't She Do? Her name is Donna. She has, in the past 2, 3 weeks, she has become very ill. They're still trying to, sort out what's going on, but they have ruled out some very scary things. And that is that everything, she had an MRI with her on her brain. I don't know if I'm saying all this right, but she had an MRI and everything checked out. So here's that little ephemera pack, and I'm just in love with that. Okay, so that's my latest passion. And I still have so many more that I've bought that I need to scan and do. So there eventually will be more coming. But I counted up last night, and at this point, I have 20 different sets of these die cuts that I have made. I can't believe it. I started last fall with these darker ones, that were from the hand painted prints. And it's just been since probably February or March that I now have exploded into 17 more sets. Oh, thank you. MRI and brain. That's right, many strokes in 24 hours, seizures. Yeah. I would love to scan your stuff. Yeah. She, I saw you, it was either Thursday or Friday, Donna, when you came in on a show for a little bit, and her face was definitely swollen. And, but she said that just 1 or 2 days before, her face was as round as like a baseball, or a cantaloupe or whatever. Fortunately, some has a balloon. There you go. So, yeah. So, everyone, so we're doing a benefit and we will donate part of our earnings to Donna and her family. Yeah, I'm just looking at the comments. I've drank a whole bottle of water and I've only been on for 2.5 hours. I buy the cheap water. I never thought, because I told you I turned 65, never thought in my wildest day I'd buy bottled water. But in my craft room, I don't want spills. So I buy a case of that cheap water at Walmart and have it for me for in my craft room. And it is bottled water is pretty damn convenient. Like if you have a party or something and you want water, you had to always fill up some kind of jug and keep it iced down. Now, like when I have my big 4th of July party, I just put cases of water in a cooler with ice. So yeah, I'm coming around that it's okay. Shows my age, doesn't it? Okay. Well, going through all that gave me time for gave our pockets time to get glued on. Or glued on. Good grief. Glued. Gave the glue time to get dry. That's what I'm trying to say. I hear so many sellers say they get tongue-tied in the shows, and I can definitely do that. Okay, so we're ready. See how they, well, yeah, see how they look. Ugh, all done. If I could hold it open. My throat is rough and yucky still from getting whatever that crap was that caused you to cough endlessly for weeks, but it's still raspy. All right, next thing we're going to do. We have our cover that we've created. Now we're going to have that in there. And this is the time when I add my magnet. And I have learned you've got to be, with this, you got to be careful, get it in the right spot so it'll, hit the flap. I think that's good. What I have learned through my years of scrapbooking, oh, come on. Pam, you got to put the pen in. And now I'm obsessed with junk journaling. Trying to get it unplugged again, guys. There we go. Oh, good grief. The magnet sticks to the tip. Put the magnet where I want it so that it'll fit. It'll make sure that the tab will get it. But we're also going to cover it up. I take that and then I take a piece of score tape. So let's say like this. That's where I want it. Okay, so I put a dab of glue so I can see where it should go, but it's stuck, so that's good. And then I put a piece of score tape right there. Then I remove the backing. I didn't even check. Was that center? It's not center. Well, we're going to call this good because I think it's pretty close. I don't want to rip. Then, take glue, kind of in that same shape. Come up and around. Fill this in. And then you want that like that. And remember, we've got a gusset down there, so you want to make sure the pocket is, all the way to the bottom. Now, I take the other, if I can find the other magnet, here it is, and let it snap into place to match. I don't think that'll be too high for the, and this is the important one. I do that, bring it down so that I have the mark of where the magnet should go, and I flip it over and put it right there with a piece of score tape to hold it in place. Get back up there where you're supposed to be. Like that. And there you go. Yeah, these aren't as strong as the other ones I got, I don't think. Although there is a piece of plastic. Yeah, don't take the backing off and snap it down because you've got the double-sided tape there. Okay, so then we open this up and we've got the back. And the other thing you have to be careful is to make sure you get the glue wiped off so they don't stick together. I've been putting a small bead in the 1/4-inch gusset, and then I feel where the magnet is. That's what I do. And then I come on each side of the magnet and come back up. And then I make sure this gusset is engaged. So that your pockets are in there correctly. And there you go. And then the last step is these labels. These labels are what cover up the magnet. So I've got different ones. We're just going to go with this. We're going to add a little pink to the front like that. And then when you open it up, you'll have this one back here. And it's centered so that the magnet is right where it's supposed to be. Yeah, I could have brought the magnet up just a little higher, but these labels are large enough that I can make sure that's covered. Okay, so first I will ink the edges of these. Whoop. I loved when Tim Holtz came out with these smaller ink tools. What do they call them? Blending tools? I don't know. It doesn't, like I said earlier, it doesn't need a lot. Just kind of knock down some of that white. And the way these are shaped, you can't get in those corners tight, so you're going to have a little bit, but I figure that's okay. All right, and the easiest thing I found with these is, of course, this one's going to go like this, and this one you want like this. So they come together like that. They're the same size. I want, yeah. Okay, so I have them together. I do this and I add just a touch. Yeah, making sure I'm doing this the right direction. And glue these together. That helps to try and get everything on there straight. So yeah, it's the bottom of the front because it's going to be here. Then open up the other side. This is when you need glue on both sides. But glue everywhere else. And I turn them this way. And then I can slip it on here. And I try to get center between this loop right here. Where's the magnet? Right there. Okay. The purpose of this is to hide the magnet. Make sure it gets good and glued down around the magnet. It looks like we need a little more glue in there. That's the other thing I should have called out is make sure this gusset is engaged on the top too when you match up your magnets. So that as small as they are, it shouldn't be a problem, but keep your gusset correctly. So you open it up and then you have got this. And when I made these oh, thank you, Deb. Now I do have a YouTube, and it is streaming while I have my shows. The main thing is that you can go back and watch. So any of them, if I do a craft with me, I believe I've always had it at the front of the title. So you would just go to my YouTube and you can watch everything. And my YouTube is the same as my whatnot name. So Pam GRE 16550. I love that I figured out, I'm proud of myself, I figured out how to connect it. And these magnets are not as strong. They aren't even, oh, it's clear up there, that's why. Yeah, the magnet needs to come down a bit. Let's do another one. Okay, so here's our three. We've glued the sides, we've glued them in the center so that we have our pockets. Here's our cover ready to go, scored and folded. We set it in here. Make sure our gusset's engaged. Well, I guess first I'm going to put a magnet down. This is the first time I've used these magnets, so I'm testing to make sure they're strong enough. But when I craft, for magnets, I love thin magnets, and I have trouble finding them. Okay, so technically, we kind of want this up pretty close to the top, right? Because we're going to put our girl on there. So So instead of doing the dot, which I normally don't do for this part of it, I just place it where I want it in the center. Ugh, I think that's pretty close. Put a piece of score tape on there to hold it in place. Then remove the backing and I start at the magnet so that I'm on just on each side of the magnet. Oop, and it's not straight. Susie in the sunflower say, hi. I was just telling him I have oh, can't figure out YouTube. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let me make this and then I'll go over it with you. Okay, so we want to make sure the 3 are in the gusset, and we bring this up and glue her down. Then you take the other, a second magnet, and let it snap into place with the one that's on the other side. This is when you take and do a dab of glue. Make sure your gusset is engaged up here at the top. Bring it down, and you have a little mark from the glue. I flip it over, put it there. If you don't flip it over, they won't attract to one another. Use another piece of score tape. I do a little bit smaller piece for here because we're putting that label on, right? And we want to make sure the label covers all the tape. Okay, so then we pick out I think I did, yeah. I did this pink chocolate one, and I thought it looked really pretty. For some reason in this file, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Goodness sakes. Goodness sakes. Goodness sakes. Now I get rid of the echo. I had my phone charging, but I knew it didn't, make that chime that it's connected. And then I totally forgot and spaced off. But it's I think my cord, the cord I usually use in here, isn't working. So I had to run to the living room and get my other cord. Oh, goodness, we made it. Okay, I think we were here getting ready to ink labels. Okay, so I'm going to I don't want to press it down because it's double-sided tape. I bet you can't guess how I knew to not do that. I do have two. Let's go with, oh my Lord. Is that the same? We're going to go with this. So we're not here forever trying to do a label. So we're going to put this one on the front and we'll put her back here. All right, so let me ink up her. The labels are pretty, they're different French things. And I have quite a few like this. This was a digital again. And I usually put this one on the underside because you don't see it as often, right? Okay. So you're going to have, oh, don't stick. That one like this and this one like this. So I put them together so that they're straight. Then I open them up a little bit and put some glue along the bottom. I feel like I'm so far away from you guys. Is this overhead view looking okay? I feel like even when I'm zoomed out, when I use my other phone stand, then I turn it this way so that, oh, hell's bells, I glued the wrong end. Forgot which one was going on the front and which one was going on the back. Okay, so they're even. Whichever one you're using on the front, you want to add a little glue to the bottom on the inside and get them attached. You can do it other ways, but I found this to be most efficient. That's if I put the glue on the right side, on the right end, because I can kind of get them where I want them without struggling with the paper. Okay, so this is now glued and I've got this opening. Stay open. And then I slide it on there. You guys probably know all this. Glue this all the way where there isn't glue. Then you want to come this way. I have some glue on me. drives me crazy when they don't match up correctly. That's probably why I try to stick them down together first, but I didn't keep it where I wanted it very well. Okay. Yeah, I still got the magnet up a ways here. What am I doing wrong? I need to bring the magnet this way on this one. Good grief. Okay, we're going to do another one, and I'll get it right, hopefully. This goes here. So what I really want is, I need to put this one here first for the flap so that it's up closer and the label will completely cover it. I'm having a brain fart today. Yeah, this is right, because that's what I did. I always put the magnet there, and then I had to get the tape off the roll, and it slid. Okay, so we're going to put it up here. Then put a piece of tape. Then that snaps into place. But I want it back here. It's a brain fart day, guys. This was easier when I did it. What am I doing wrong? I was able to... Good grief. Sorry about this, guys. Okay, I'm gonna do that, and then we're gonna see if it's, yeah. Okay. That's not how I figured out to do it the right way, so I'm gonna have to do it a few more times and then get my pattern figured out again. My pattern of working method. Make sure your gusset is engaged. Okay, so now your magnet is hidden, of course, on the other side of the front cover. Yep, I can hear the snap, so we're good. Now, we're going to pick out the labels we want. There we go. So we're going to put this lady right here. And on the back side, it will be that. Ink the edges. All right, So the front is this. Make sure that's going the right direction. Match them up. And the one that's going to be on the front, you add a little bit of glue along the bottom. To stick them together. And make sure they're matchy. Have I missed any questions? And then I turn it around so I can, it'll go like this so that I can see the center and all that good stuff. Remove the tape backing. And then add glue everywhere on both sides since it's going around the paper, the flap of the thing. And then come this way. And like I said, I try to make them kind of even with these half circles right here. And then with the magnet kind of in the middle. And there we go. Oh, that's better. Having the magnet lower helped. But I do see that they aren't as strong as the bigger ones I got. Did you guys know when I was making mini scrapbooks, and they were quite a bit larger magnets, quite a bit larger for them. And instead of using two magnets, you can use a disc, just a round silver metal disc, as the other side for the magnet. Depending on how much strength you need. If you need more strength, to really hold something down or together or whatever, you'd want to use two magnets. But the disc is just kind of so you don't go through as many magnets, I guess is what I'm trying to tell you. So I might be looking into some. I mean, it does the job. It holds it. I might be looking into some stronger ones. But I really want these are only 1 millimeter thick. And I love that so that it doesn't, take up as much space. All right. Measurements. Is the person that wanted measurements still here? Or is there anyone here that didn't see that part? I can go over that real quick. Okay. So I start with an 8.5 by 11 sheet of 45-pound paper. And I print on both sides. And what I discovered and printed them the wrong way. So this is half of the 8.5 by 11, right? So you print this direction, and then when you print the backside, you want it upside down so that you've got it going the correct way when you close it. So you print your 8.5 by 11, borderless. These are the measurements I used. You can, adjust it however much you would like. So then I cut it in half, which makes this 4.25 wide and the full 11. So there's no paper waste. First time I did them, it was a joke. I didn't get it correct. Isn't that beautiful, that bouquet? And it doesn't even show up. It's on the back side. Then You put it in your scoreboard. You want the top to the right on the scoreboard, and you want the side that you're going to make the cover, because you could make either side the cover, right? That's the cool part about it. And then you score on the side that is your cover at 1 3/4, 1 7/8, because there's an eighth of an inch gusset in two places. Then you come to 6 3/4, and then 6 7/8, and that's how you get the two gussets for it. I filled up the ones I made for Build a Journal. I filled up with quite a bit of ephemera, and it actually, puffed out a bit, but it stayed together because of the magnet. And so then the pockets that I use are rag paper book pages, and they start out this size. You could do any size. If you want 2 to a page, you want, of course, a bigger page. But if you had smaller book pages, you could do, 1. So down here is where the fold is, because these are folios that I'm using that are still 2 pages attached. And first thing you do is cut this up, good Lord, cut this at 4 inches. So you've got this at the 4-inch mark, make your cut, and you end up with this width, or this height. Then you turn it and you cut these so that the width is 4 1/4, like these, right? Because they're half of the 8.5 by 11. So that's what I've come up with to be the most efficient. I tried some other, I'd love to find some smaller book pages that, oh, thank you, where I don't lose as much, because I lose quite a bit cutting this at 4 inches, and it kills me because this is really nice quality rag paper, and I'm, cutting that much off, which also I'm losing the decal edge. Okay, any questions? And I'll show you what I talked about it at the beginning of the show. I did not get, I'm going to get my needle and my glue. I remembered, girls. I'm going to get my needle and my glue. What I talked about at the beginning of the show is I meant to have some of these done completely, like this. Oh, we didn't glue the back. Jeez Louise. So yes, I put a bead of glue in the gusset. And then I feel where the magnet is, and I put glue on each side, because we know the magnet's in the center, or at least close enough center. Okay. Pull it up, make sure your gusset is engaged down there. That's what we need. And then it does this. As long as yeah. And it does that. Then I gotta leave it down until the glue dries. And you've got a magnet here, and then you've got a magnet under this label, and it keeps it shut. Okay, so I have got, you can see all of these covers here. I've got a ton of covers ready. I've got them to the point, I've scored them, I've cut them, I've printed them, cut them, scored them, burnished them, and inked the edges. So I have a bunch of these available. And I have some book pages. Thank you, Maritza, that I can include, and the labels and the magnets. So if I set up a kit where you could have 2 complete ephemera pockets if you want to finish them yourself. So you would get to pick 2 of the covers. You would get 3 book pages, the rag paper book pages, because you can get 2, 4, 6. So 3 pockets out of 3 pages, 6 pockets out of 3 pages, and I put 3 in each. So there's your 6. And then you can pick out these from these little labels that I have. And then I'll include 4 magnets. Now, if no one is interested in finishing themselves, I completely understand. And I will be working on these, and I will have them probably finished by my next show. Let's run it and just see if anyone is interested. Let's see. I gotta find it. Oh, plus my other difficulty or challenge today, I should say, is I'm doing overhead so that I, have my space to make. And I'm used to having my phone right in front of my face. Now I'm trying to see if I can, yeah, here we go. Pin item. In the description, I didn't put that you would get the labels, but you do get to pick the labels. Start auction. And I'm doing it on my laptop. And I haven't done that I'm going to do 15-second auction with 5-second restart. And it's starting now. So you can pick 2 of the covers. You get to pick 4 labels. You get 3 book pages and 4 magnets. Susie, I'm thinking you and I have talked about this before because the Sunflower State is Kansas and I live in Northeast Kansas. No, thank you, Maritza. I will have them finished and completed like this in my next show. So all you'll do is buy the completed pocket. And I understand if you want to wait. All right, Susie, how do we start? Because all of these are different patterns. I'm going to put out, how about I put out 4 at a time, and you tell me if that is one of them. Then the flaps come up. Am I up high enough? Nope. Let's get up higher. We'll say 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, I'm going to move these so I can push it up even higher for you. Yellow, brown, and blue. Look at this blue. On the inside is this. This is the opposite. This is on the outside, and that gorgeous blue is on the inside. So if you like one of those, both of them. Okay. You just, okay. Go with those 2. Perfect. That was easy. And then I will be sending, like I said, 3 book pages and 4 magnets. Okay, and here are the little labels. I'll put them on here so you can see. I wonder if I zoom in, if you can see better. No, I was zoomed in. Okay, never mind. Zoom in. Okay, so here is the one that has the, whoop, it's the chocolate. This one has some pink flowers and has, whoa, Paris on it. This one, whoop, sorry guys, I'm just not used to this overhead. That one. I'm trying to make sure I pick the same sizes. These are, I think that's the same size. Yeah. And there's this little girl with the pink hairband. And then these are the ones that just simply have beautiful French wording on them. And I like, I think you were here, I like to use these on the back because they're not as bright and colorful, but they're pretty for the inside of the flap. No people. So you like these like this. Okay. So we have got, okay, you're saying number 3, so I'm thinking this one. Yep. Okay. And this one for one of them. And then I've got this. I think that's the same. Yeah. This one, look at this Ferris wheel. Yes. All right. And then do you want another one like this? I they have different wordings on them. Okay, perfect. So where'd I put the Ferris wheel? Right here. Okay. So those 2 for that one. Perfect. Let me get your name on here. Yeah, I really liked that blue. First time I made them, I did it with all the blue on the inside. I think I said that. This time I decided I need to flip it out. Yeah, you were. Okay, I'll run it again. See if anyone else would like to finish these up themselves. And it's a running. And like I said, it's okay if you don't. I will finish these up and probably, oh, my next show is wax seals. And I'll show you this. My journal. I'm taking these metal bookmarks and putting a wax seal stamp in the open spot. And that's what I'm going to work on before my next show, plus finishing up these ephemera pockets. Everyone liked these and the wax seals that I've been making and the pockets. So today was primarily a craft with me day, and we got that done. And I'm going to also I'm going to show you the other thing I'm going to do with wax seals. I'm going to use these. Here's an empty one. But when you get these, they have that little, what is it called, a cabochon, and you put the clear glass thing on it. Well, I don't use the clear glass. I just simply get the wax seal in there. And I just thought these would be also adorable in our junk journals, to use a little bulb pin, in the hook, to just attach them to our junk journal. And then, of course, these are perfect for a junk journal because they're a bookmark. So I think you guys will have to look, but I think my next show with the wax seals is, I think, Thursday evening. And then on Sunday, I have the benefit raid train for What Doesn't She Do? And she was in there with us for quite a while earlier this morning. And she's become quite ill. And unfortunately, she and her husband and family don't have insurance. So we're doing a benefit raid train to raise money for them. All right. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to show that's new. Where did I put them? I showed everyone the Victorian die cuts that I've been making, and they're kind of my passion right now. I've ended up making 20 different sets, and they are all in my buy now. And it'll tell you how many paper dolls and all that good stuff. And I believe earlier I mentioned I bought 22 French magazines. I think 14, I forgot about this. There's some Harper's Bazaar, which are American, I think, but the majority of them were French Le Mode Illustré. And that's where I got all of the black and white sets that you'll see in my bin, plus that gorgeous ephemera set. I just love that little ephemera set. I can't wait to make a project and be able to tuck some of those pieces in the pockets. But what I also scanned were these. Girls, I can't find my pen. I think I recently saw where there's some kind of cap that stays attached, or they made one that would stay attached so that you wouldn't have to look for it every time. I need to find that. Yeah, because that dang pen gets away from me all the time. But these were basically the centerfolds of the magazines, the French Le Mode Illustré. And I couldn't necessarily use them for, a single die cut because there was overlap. And when you remove, like if I removed all of her dress, then there's this weird angle for this lady's dress. And so I think there's only one lady in all of these pages that I actually made into a paper doll. But so anyway, I scanned them. This is the color that scanned this, kind of like a worn, um, aged paper like those are. And what I also did, I'll lift this up so you can see it better. I left the description at the bottom of the photograph. Oh, I don't know how to get it up there right. because that gives a description of what they're wearing. And I thought that was kind of fun. But you could easily, if you purchase these, you could easily trim all of that, aged look off and just simply have the black and white photograph or whatever you call that from 1875 and 1891. So yeah, here's this one. Lady's holding her little baby, and down here are all of the, and of course it's in French, but it describes, I believe what it's describing is what they're wearing. Look at this one. This is kind of cool. They're picking apples over here. And I didn't do borderless. I tried, but this one isn't as wide, and so when I expanded it, to go borderless, it chopped off up here, or some of this down here. So it'll vary a little bit in size, but I love horizontal, the idea of horizontal in our junk journals. That way you're looking at them the correct direction instead of, like this. So I just thought that would be really amazing. These must not have had descriptions because I don't have that down there. You can see this line here. That's where the magazine would have been folded. And then so that's why there's a little bit of discoloration there. You've got this one. Look at this one. Isn't that something? Those are two goats pulling a cart with a little boy in there. I mean, the imagery in these are just amazing. And then we've got this one. I thought I had seen one that I had pulled when I was looking at these last night, but I don't. Yeah, I could have pulled her and made, dolls out of them. But I thought, well, this would give us additional women, but in a group. Yes. Yes, yes, ma'am. I have them set up actually right here. There, I should have pinned it first. So you get 8.5 by 11. And I printed them on 27-pound paper. You know, yes, exactly, Deb. Oh, I I put myself in several raid trains for June, and I need to not do as many if I want to ever get a junk journal made. Because you have to make things for the raid trains if they're not something that, oh, sorry, I found the pen and I'm trying to get it in my glue bottle. I have not said welcome in and thank you for being here in a while, and I'm so sorry. I so greatly appreciate everyone that takes the time to come in. We're going to get it started. Deb, such an awesome question. I am trying to figure out how to do them digitally on Whatnot. And when I do that, I'm trying to make sure it's okay that I do. And I want to make sure that, and then, get them. And I've got to have a site set up so that I can send you guys to where they are. So yeah, I am trying to figure that part out. Do you guys know anyone that sells digitally on Whatnot? I've seen one, and I don't know if I've seen a second one or not, but I do know of one. I'm going to go ahead and start this auction. And it's a running. Now on these, I didn't print on the back side, and normally I don't on my printed pieces, because my thinking on that is whatever collection you're using, you could print on the back side. Yeah, exactly, Deb. You could print on the back side whatever, a similar, whatever paper collection you might be using on the back side. And this is paper that is printable. Did you guys know that some paper doesn't give you a good quality print on the opposite side? This paper does. So you would be able to run these through your printer and print whatever you'd like on the back side. Thank you, Deb. I'll run it again just in case anyone else is interested. I do want to figure out how to do these digitally, but haven't gotten it all. I know what I need to do. I just need to get it all sorted out. And you know what, Deb? I actually have an Etsy, but I've never put anything in it. Maybe it would be easiest just to put these in there. Oh, thank you, Leela. Yeah, I really liked these. I tried printing these on white resume, like a linen paper, but I didn't like them as well. And so I went with a stark white 27-pound paper. Best bet is just to post on Etsy. Do you know the one thing I'm fearful of is, like these, I don't print. I don't know if it matters, but by the time I put the file on Etsy, are they going to see this page with the white edging? Is what I should know, because I've bought from Etsy. I've bought digitals on Etsy for years. And I didn't know if that would be as appealing if they look like this. But maybe if I'm just putting the photo, or the image in, then they decide how they want to print it and whether or not, they'll have a, okay, okay. You just are a little nervous when you try to figure out something for the first time. But I think I wouldn't have to charge as much because I'm not doing the printing, you know? Is there anything any of you would like to see? We made it through the craft with me with these little ephemera pockets. I'm going to finish making a ton of them. I have twice this amount of covers ready to go. I just didn't have enough time to finish the pockets. Oh, yeah. Everything, I have started putting most of my things in the bin. If you're, I don't know if you're looking for some of the Victorian die cuts, but all the sets are in there. Um, when I show a new product, I put it, in the auction tab. But now I'll move these probably over to the buy now. Yes. Maritza, that's what well, the gal I know, you buy a pack that's hard copy. Oh, well, I could sell the two. I think, did we finish two today? I would sell these. They're finished. Okay. Let me get the listing. I didn't put them in today. I wasn't thinking that I would have some finished after doing the craft with me. Ephemera Pocket. Let's see, how do I add it to the show with the show going? Let's see. Here we go. I've got two of them. Let's see if it shows up. They start at $4 each. Whoa. Okay, gotta get back here. Yes, I'm on YouTube. It's the same name as my whatnot, Pam GRE 16550, and it will show the full show is being recorded. Okay, let me get Pocket. Let me get it, find it, and get it pinned. Hopefully it's there. Pocket, there it is. Pin the item. And I'm going to start it. And it will be for choice of either one of these. Oh, I did 30 seconds. Sorry. Doesn't 30 seconds feel like forever on whatnot? Yes. Which one would you like, Deb? The top one or the bottom one? The bottom? Okay. I just think that the pink chocolate label is perfect for this paper. Okay, I'll run it one more time, see if anyone wants the other one that is finished. And I'm going to reduce the time to 10 seconds. And it's running. Oh, wonderful, Deb. Perfect. I will get your name on these. And I'm hoping, oh, thank you, Deb. I kind of like them too. I could just see them so pretty if you glued them, down in a page of a junk journal, and then you open that flap and have a bunch of goodies in there. Or simply, like I've also said, simply using them to store your own ephemera. Okay, so that's Deb. So I'll have a bunch of finished ones Thursday night. I'm also going to offer these again at the Build-A-Journal, which is June 19th, I believe. Thank you very much. I guess. Oh, I got this one. Did I make 3 today? I have some beautiful black and white ones, Deb. Go in my buy now, and I have 2 sets from 1875 Le Mode Illustré and 4 sets from 1891. Then I have 4 sets of close-up ladies in black and white and a beautiful ephemera set. Were you here when I showed that? Oh, the ephemera set is to die for as far as I'm concerned. I just think they're so adorable. So the newest, okay, I think it's number 240, is a new set of color Victorian ladies. And then numbers after that are the black and white. Ugh. So this one is 249. And there are, I think I have the listing as 27 pieces, but there's 29 because I added these 2 little collar pieces. I got to get up this way so you guys can see them. Look at this. So there's 29 pieces in here. And this, I always call them an umbrella, but they're, I think back then they were called parasols. There's a couple hats. There's a corset. We're getting to the really good ones here in a second. Look at this. Some kind of a container. This lamp. I think this is a trash can. Look at that. And this is, look at this elaborate. I'm calling this a trash can too. Like if you see a white spot like that, it's just simply that the piece didn't pop out when I pulled it off my Cricut mat. That's my favorite parasol. This is a picture frame. A pillow. Wouldn't these just be gorgeous in our junk journals? Look at this. I think that's some kind of purse. Another trash can, maybe? Look how elaborate those trash cans were. This is another some kind of container. A little, look at this purse. Ah! A pillow. Look at this. Has a butterfly on that purse. Parasol. A fan. And then 2 more parasols. And I'm thinking we could somehow, you know, with with the lady die cuts, we could somehow, use these with them, to give them. Oh, thank you, Maritza. No, I need to. Do you know what? I think I sold all of my color ones. And I need to. Not yet. I'm going to have more coming eventually. Um, I think I sold all of my color ones, except I think I do have 7 or 8 coming. I think they're in color. And so I'll be doing the same thing. I will run the third pocket. Yes. Okay, it's running. Where did it go? Oh, under the ephemera. That is for this pocket. The ephemera kit. Or the pocket kit. Did I run it? Oh, crud. Sorry. Oh, I think I only did 2. Because I thought I only had 2. Okay. Darn it. Okay, let me get this created again. Where did it go? Let's see. I got to go to, let's see, go to inventory. I got to go to inactive. There it is. Ephemera Pocket. Oh, come here. I'm just going to put a larger number in there because I will have them ready for next week. Or Thursday, sorry. Just about there. Come on. I got too many tabs open to find the live show. Okay, I'm on my laptop trying to, it's quicker since my phone is in the air with this new. Okay, got to stop the echo. Now, find the listing. There it is. Pin it. Oh, I remembered to reduce the time. There it's going. That is for this one. The butterflies. Thank you, Deb. I am also trying to figure out shipping. I've done it long enough now. I'm trying to figure out more detailed way to put the weight in. I think I did it on these pockets. Because if I put in 1 to 3 ounces, because they tell us to put in enough weight to, cover the packaging and the item, right? Well, if I put in 1 to 3 ounces, that's good for one. But if you buy 3 like you did just now, Deb, that's 9 ounces. And I don't even know if all 3 of these weigh 3 ounces in the package. So I'm trying to get more fine-tuned even with the shipping. All right, everyone. Anything else we can talk about or you want to see? 'Cause I know. I thought originally when I started, I thought, well, 1 to 3 makes sense because by the time you have the packaging and the and one pocket, ephemera pocket, that would be the right weight range for one. But like you just bought three, it always takes the highest number of the range. So you've paid for 9 ounces of shipping on those three, if that's what I put in. I may have put in 0 to 1 because even if you bought just one, I can make an adjustment if it's not over 5 ounces, which most of what I sell wouldn't be. So I'm trying to fine tune everything. Yeah, they're going to start coming down on people who don't. When I first started, I didn't change the it. Yeah, you have to do it a while, and then then you're thinking, okay, I can make it hopefully less and less for people to pay for shipping. But when I first started, they always put in a box that's 20 by 20 by 20, and then whatever weight range you chose. Well, when I first started 14 months ago, I didn't change the weight or the size of the box. Well, that isn't even near close for something like these. I have cute little pink bubble envelopes. I put these in now. But probably it didn't take me very many months to figure out I needed to go in and change the dimensions of the box and make the right weight amount. And I'm so glad I've gotten in that habit because they're coming down on people starting maybe next month that keep everything the same as what is auto populated. And people are shipping things in boxes that are larger than the 20 by 20 by 20. And Whatnot is having to pay those overages and they don't put in the accurate weight. So I know this is a lot to share, but that's where we're at right now. So, yeah. All right, everyone. I think I'm going to call it a day or call it a show. And I'm going to try my best to be here. I'm trying to do 2 shows a week. And it ends up this week's going to be 3. So hopefully Thursday night works out. Otherwise, you'll see all this stuff. Actually, I might cancel Thursdays because you'll see all of this in the benefit raid train that I'm doing on Sunday for What Doesn't She Do? And a percentage of the proceeds go to her. Oh, it's great to meet you, Leela. I'm going to say Leela. Um, do you know Paper Swan? Oh, good, Deb. Yes, yes. Everything will, I'm hoping, go out this afternoon if I get this show finished. My mailman usually isn't at my house until 2 or 3 Central Time, so I'm hoping I can get a lot of these ready to go today. Yeah, and the pockets. Well, if you love French items, Paper Swan is fabulous. She's become a dear friend, and she does a lot of French, and she does a lot in this era, like I do. Yes. You're going to have a nice package coming, Deb. I get a lot of her people come to my shows because she loves my Victorian Lady die cuts, and so they come this way to pick up some of those. but I have all of them in the buy now. I had a lady during a raid train ask if I could do that with my items so that you can purchase them whenever you'd like, not just, when I have a show. Did she, Deb? Good. She is typically on Tuesday evenings, but she had a show Friday night. Yeah, same here. That's what I've gotten hooked on is all things Victorian. Exactly. I have a ton of um I've scanned so much I can't even explain, but I bought authentic real French documents, invoices, checks, and I have scanned many of them, and I have packs in my buy now of the printed ones. And that's another item I'd like to then, make digital too, as soon as I figure out. So I might, now that I'm thinking about it, I might just cancel Thursday night show and have all of these ephemera pockets for the benefit raid train on Sunday. I think that's what I'll do because I'll have a bunch and hopefully they go over real well. And it's that much more that Donna, what doesn't she do, will get in proceeds. She's become very ill and their family doesn't have insurance. So that's why we're doing this. It runs Saturday, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday. And I'm on Sunday evening. So let's just do that. All right, everyone. Let's see if there's wonderful, Deb. Let's see if there's someone we would like, or let's find out who we would like to raid into. Let's see who's on. We've got Annie Crafts. I think I raided into her. Good. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you, Maritza. Okay, Annie's Crafts is in scrapbook and journaling, and I think I raided into her last Monday. So here we go. And I will see you guys Sunday evening. Raid now.